Earlier in the year I showed you these, the ICAN G25 Gravel Wheels, one of the cheapest gravel wheels on the market, and we did a detailed workshop evaluation of them, and on paper at least these things came over as fantastic, possibly too good to be true. And I promised you I'd put these wheels on a gravel bike and give them a bit of a kick in, and here we are 4 months and 1,000 miles down the line. And how have these cheap Chinese gravel wheels coped? Well, let's take a closer look. First up, I must apologise for the state these wheels are in. It's because I've used them. For those of you that didn't catch my first video on these wheels, I'll link it below at the end, and I'll also put one of those little black box things up there. But here's a brief recap for you. 50mm deep carbon gravel specific rim, hooked, tubeless design, steel spokes, ICAN's own hub. They weigh in at roughly 1,498 grams, and as of right now, depending on where you are in the world, they will cost you roughly £600. Full disclosure, ICAN sent me these wheels free of charge, but no money has changed hands and they will not be influencing the outcome or my opinion in this video. The bike I chose to put these wheels on is my Dolan GX8 gravel bike. If I'm honest, it's a bike I do abuse quite a bit. Not only do I use it for all the trail and the gravel rides and the training rides and the winter rides, it's also the bike I turn to if it's raining outside, or it's also the bike I first grab if I'm just doing a bike ride to the shops or going to the pub with my mates. And if I'm honest, I very rarely clean it, and it only gets maintenance when it goes wrong. So these wheels weren't going to get an easy life, and in the 4 months and 1,000 miles they've done, I haven't touched them. I've done no maintenance on them, and it's clearly obvious I haven't cleaned them either. When it comes down to tyre choice, I got in touch with WTB. I said, I'm doing a review on these ICAN wheels. Do you want to get involved? Got an email back from a lovely chap called James. He said, sure, we'd love to get involved. And he sent me a set of their Riddler 37s. Oh, and some of their tubeless sealant to try out to finish the job. Cheers, James. Now, the wheels that they're replacing are these. The Hunt 4-season gravel alloy. Roughly 1,700 grams, and the RRP on them is about £500, although I think Hunt has got them in the sale at the moment. And this is a wheel that's been around for quite some time now, and it's a popular choice for people that are looking to upgrade the stock wheels that came with their gravel bike. So I think it will make for an interesting comparison. What do you think? Stick a comment below. So what's your thoughts on how these deep wheels look? I thought putting such a deep wheel on a gravel bike would look stupid, but after putting them on, I've changed my mind. I think they look fantastic. I think it makes the bike look a little bit mean. What do you think? So the day after finishing my first video about the wheels, I stuck them on the bike. As I said earlier, what was that, 4 months, 1,000 miles ago? And when compared to the heavier alloy Hunt wheels, I did notice an immediate difference. Now, I'm not going to say for 1 second, oh, it was night and day. I don't mean it like that, but the difference was noticeable. The best way I can describe it is the bike went from feeling like a gravel bike to a more nimble road bike. So the wheels have spent their existence on bridle paths, disused railways, canal towpaths, and quiet country lanes near me riddled with potholes. As I was saying earlier, I've not cleaned or maintained them at all. All that white nasty looking stuff, that's the Peak District. In particular, Tittisworth Trail. Now, in my first video, these wheels got well and truly put under the metaphorical microscope. We checked everything: radial run out, spoke tension, hub build quality, bearings, seals. We checked the lot, and the result was what you would expect from a wheel costing twice the price, which is great, but at that point they hadn't even touched the road. So how are they now doing all this time later? Let's start from the hub and work our way out. Now, 1,000 miles is nothing for modern hubs and bearings, and you wouldn't expect to see any wear yet. But if there is a problem with either the design or the build quality, then it would be showing by now. Now, the bearings are running smooth and the free hub is running perfectly. It's lovely and clean inside. So on that side of things, no problems whatsoever. Right, so now let's take a look at the spokes. The spokes that ICAN used to build these wheels are the Sapim CX-Ray, a very good spoke that is used by many other high-end manufacturers producing wheels costing twice the price of these. So, unsurprisingly, they've not budged. I've still got all of the spoke tension data from my previous video, and I've checked these wheels using the spoke tension tool, and basically they match what they were before they were put on the bike. Okay, so now let's take a look at the rims. When new, both the front and rear had a radial and lateral run out of roughly 0.2 of a millimetre, which is exceptional. I've let the air out of the tyres and put them on the truing stand, and basically, cut a long story short, they are reading exactly the same as they were before, 0.2 of a millimetre. Now, when looking at that lateral run out, you will notice every now and again on the meter there's a slight blip. That's not the rim, that's a lump of peak district. One recurring point in the comment section on my previous video was around shipping costs, what the wheels were advertised for versus what they were actually being priced at the point of checkout. Now, the ICAN website has 3 regional areas: worldwide, Europe, and the US. So here in the UK, for example, we need to buy them from the worldwide section of the website. Now, by the time you add shipping, the wheels come through at roughly £600. However, if you are in the US or the EU, you will pay a little bit more for the wheels, but you enjoy free shipping, which means at checkout, you are also paying roughly £600. So I think my advice here is breaking the price down to its component parts may be a frustrating thing to do, and it may be a better idea to look at the end price of the wheels and compare that to a comparable product on the market. Over the past few months, I have tested and reviewed more than my fair share of wheels: ICAN, Knee-Pest, Super Team, and soon to come, Elite Wheels. Want to watch that video? Make sure you subscribe. But out of all of those wheels, so far, the one that has impressed me the most is the ICAN. Now, am I saying that the ICAN wheel is the best? No, I'm not. That accolade goes to Knee-Pest with their super light climbing wheels, carbon spokes, ceramic bearings, star ratchet system, ultra lightweight. But you'd expect them to be the best because they cost over £1,000. But what has impressed me with the ICAN wheels is they have produced a wheel where the build quality is as good as those more expensive wheels in the review that in some cases cost nearly twice as much. So am I saying everything is rosy? No, I'm not. I did actually have 2 negatives about these wheels, but my bad, turned out one of them was just a blob of Peak District mud. Now, the vast majority of wheels nowadays, including similarly priced ones within ICAN's road range, come with the much more advanced ratchet style free hub system. The G25s use the older style D21 hub from ICAN, which has a pull type free hub. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a pull type free hub. It served us all well for many, many years. But we can agree that for a few reasons, that style ratchet technology is a better solution. Now, some people may argue there and say, yeah, but John, you can, at point of purchase, you can upgrade the hubs to a DT Swiss hub. And yes, you can, but that's putting an additional £200/$dollars on the price of the wheels and is pushing them inside that price bracket of those premium wheels. How about ICAN? We upgrade the hubs on the G25s. So, do I recommend the ICAN G25 wheels? Well, first of all, before I say what I think, let's look at what other people are saying. Go to my previous video about these wheels and look at the comments. Fantastic, brilliant, bomb-proof, running them for years, thousands of miles. And once you're done reading all of those comments, and there are a lot of them, go to other trusted YouTube sources like Peak Talk or Hambini, who have also done videos about ICAN wheels. I'll link them both below for you. And once you've watched their videos, then read the comments in those videos from people that have actually owned these wheels. Fantastic, brilliant, bomb-proof, years and years and years, miles and miles and miles. If I'm being totally honest with you, this deep dive into the cheaper Chinese wheels that I've been doing over the last couple of months has completely changed my attitude to the premium carbon wheel market. So the big question, do I recommend the ICAN G25 wheels? Well, yeah, they're brilliant. Why wouldn't I recommend them? I can't think of any genuine, sensible, feasible reason why I wouldn't recommend them. But I would love to hear from you if anyone can think of any reason why you wouldn't use a set of the ICAN wheels. Genuinely, I'd be interested to hear your opinion, as would others, I'm sure. Please stick a comment below. Also, almost forgot, the WTB Riddlers, how have they been as a set of tyres? Well, when you consider they're only a 37, which is quite narrow in the grand scheme of gravel things nowadays, and the tread pattern isn't that aggressive, they've actually done pretty well indeed. Trail, gravel, grit, towpath and all that, they've done brilliantly. Only when I sort of pushed them too far and took them into places like really slimy wet mud or wet grass did they slip, but as we all know, the vast majority of tyres would fail in that situation. Only the big chunky, almost mountain bike like tyres are going to cope in that scenario. So once again, WTB, thank you very much for getting involved in this video and providing your support by providing these tyres. Now, ICAN has generously provided a discount code that you can use at checkout, which my understanding will give you a 5% discount on, I think it will work on any of the ICAN wheel range. So if, like me, you're here in the UK, that 5% discount should go some way into helping you with that postage cost. Now, if you would like to watch my first workshop review of these wheels, then it's that video up there. Or if you want to watch the video about the fancy knee-pest wheels I was talking about earlier, where I do a bit of riding in the Yorkshire Dales, is that video down there. Thanks for watching.